What is up, nerds? Welcome to episode 26 of the Pickleball Pursuit podcast. I'm your host, Lewis, with Pickleball Pursuit, here with my co-host, Justin, from Pickleball, etc. This will be the last podcast of 2024. So, Justin, what do we got? What are we talking about today, man?
Well, for our last podcast of the year, we're going to get into what we think are, some of the best paddles of this year. Of course, we've seen all the 2024 paddle awards. This may be a little bit different, but we're going to have a few picks on a few different categories. We're also going to dive into what we're playing with, new week, new main, see if we're onto something new and how we have it set up. In net gains today, we're going to talk about getting your mind and body on the same page, specifically on the court. And then going to NERDTOWN is going to be a little different this week. We're going to go to NERDTOWN, and it's going to be the NERDTOWN People's Choice Awards. So stick around for that part, and we're going to get you guys involved in picking some of your favorite things from NERDTOWN or your favorite things about paddle technology and just talking nerdy. So
got some good stuff today. Drinking some wine, celebrating. You'll find out why in a couple of weeks.
Oh, okay.
A little teaser.
Yeah. All right,
let's
jump in.
Let's do it, man. So, best paddles of 2024. I made my best paddles of 2024 video. Had lots of questions. Why was there not this paddle? Why was there not that paddle? Why'd you pick this over that? So, I tried to answer most of those in the comment section, but obviously you can't answer them all. So I'm going to talk about the most obvious omissions from the 2024 list, which number one, we'll start. People were freaking out. Why did I not put my main paddle?
Your main paddle, yeah.
The Invader in there. Well, here's why, guys. As a reviewer, it is my duty to look at things objectively. All right? Just because I subjectively prefer to play with this over any paddle currently at the moment doesn't mean that it's the best paddle, period, end of sentence, or the best paddle for the masses. And that's usually my thought process behind every category. It's how is this paddle going to perform for the masses who are looking for a subset of performance characteristics? And although the Invader is an incredible paddle, and honestly, if it was released, the J2 Ti or the Neonic Flare Prime X were not released, it would be easily one of the best paddles on the market. But the J2 Ti and the Neonic Flare Prime X, specifically, two paddles that placed above it, did have better all-around performance characteristics, in my personal opinion, and just edged out the Invader. And I mean, you and I say this all the time. Paddles are so close in their performance. There's really just small details that make them better than specific paddles.
Or even subjectively better for your preference, like what you're saying,
Exactly.
Yeah, we have like an embarrassment of riches with paddles.
Yeah.
There's so many good paddles that you have. Years ago, this wasn't the case. It was like play with a good paddle, play with a bad paddle. Now it's like play with any of these good paddles and figure out which one fits you the best.
Exactly.
Which is nice.
And that's a perfect, I wanted to say an embarrassment of riches, but I didn't want to get the saying wrong because I knew that's your saying and you say it all the time. So,
do I?
You do, yeah. You said that probably 3 times in this 26 episode series.
In the past 7 months, yeah. I said all the time.
Omission number 2, which was a very obvious one. The Pulse S from Pickleball Apes. Now, a lot of people are wondering, did I omit this because it has a break-in period? No, that was not why this was omitted. I genuinely just believe that the Pickleball Apes Pulse S is a great paddle. It's just not quite as well-rounded as the J2 Ti, or honestly, the Flare Prime X. I think this was the closest competitor to the Flare Prime X. I would say this is probably number 3 overall all-court paddles on my list.
So you're pretty much giving your honorable mentions at this point.
Pretty
you
much,
say your
yeah.
omissions, but these are kind of your honorable.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. I would agree that is probably the better adjective for these paddles. So I don't know how you feel about the break-in period on the Pulse S. It's been a hot topic.
Everybody knows how I feel about it.
Yeah, as of late,
I'm pretty anti.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good thing, but I do think that of all of the paddles that break in, the fact that it does not, to our knowledge yet, have any issues with the core, maintaining its integrity. So,
Right.
because of that reason, I will still keep this within the, good paddles, if you will. There's other paddles that break in that I would not say are good paddles because of how they break in. And we've talked.
You're not banishing it to Modland.
Yeah, not banishing it to Modland. Even the gearboxes are kind of banished, in my opinion.
I can see that, yeah.
But we won't get too far into that because we talked about that last episode. So those are my two most notable omissions. I wanted to also clarify, if you are like, well, you played with the J2K way more than the J2 Ti, those paddles are like nearly identical. The only reason why I put the J2 Ti better than the J2K is just because it feels better off the face and has slightly better control. So if you're kind of in the realm of which one do I get, it's really just, do you want something that has 1% more pop and doesn't feel quite as good? Get the J2K. If you want something that has slightly less pop but feels a little bit better, J2 Ti. So those are my omissions, man. Also had a really good question from one of the commenters on that video, which was, can you name the best paddle for control, all court category, and power for all three shapes? So standard / wide body, hybrid shape, and elongated shape. So Justin, we're going to go through each of those three shapes, and we're going to name, in our opinion, what we believe is the best control paddle, all court paddle, and power paddle for each
And
shape.
we haven't talked about this.
We have not,
beforehand,
so this is a surprise.
You and I. So
yeah, I'm going to let you go first.
I wonder if we line up. I'm sure we're going to line up on some of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's start with the wide bodies. We'll call it wide body / standard. Okay, wide, control, Mach 2 Forza.
Yeah. I misspoke.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
I just wanted to say, I misspoke when I talk about the control Forza, saying it was slightly better and more control oriented. I went ahead and hit those two a couple weeks ago, and I was like, damn.
Yeah, the control Forza is actually a little
up.
bit more poppy and stiff feeling. The Mach is like the control one, the traditional pillowy control. Okay,
it's
so wide body / standard, best all court. I actually have two because I can't pick between these two.
Mm-hmm.
And I think these are equal performers, and you would just pick based on feel. 1A is the Monarch all court, now known as the Pegasus all court.
Mm-hmm.
And 1B, Spartus Apollo. That's what I have.
Oh, interesting.
What about you?
I assume you. Well, we won't jump the gun. In terms of all court, I picked the best standard / wide body shape paddle to be the Flare Prime X from Neonic.
Oh, how did I leave that one out?
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to call that a power paddle,
boy.
which is fine.
No, I don't know how I left that one out, to be honest. Maybe because it weirdly falls right between all court and power for me.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. So I actually, as you guys know, would choose to play with the Flare Prime X over the Monarch all court or the Spartus Apollo. I like that paddle better. But I just didn't think it was as squarely in all court. Yeah. But it's also not squarely in power, as we'll see right now. For me, I have my best wide power paddle as the ESQC. Probably the 12.7 if you want max pop and power.
Yeah, ESQC is just far and away the best. It's really not even close. Oh, wait, this is TK. My bad.
I was wondering.
It is far and away the best standard shape / wide body power paddle. There's really very few standard / wide body power paddles.
The Flare Prime X, again, is just right behind that. Just a touch less power and pop and a better paddle in my opinion, or easier to play with. Let's put it that way.
100%. Yeah, I would agree.
So I guess the Flare Prime X just like suffered from not falling squarely in the categories, but funny enough, my whole list of best wide bodies for each of these categories, I would choose the Flare Prime X over all of these. So
Yeah.
So it
Well,
isn't
there
a
you go.
perfect list.
Best
all right.
overall standard
Yeah.
slash wide body.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
We didn't even do that. Okay.
Hybrid. Baby.
Okay, hybrid. Best hybrid control paddle. This one changed for me. This is a recent addition, and it's this Shapeshifter HX. I know that maybe this is marketed as an all-court paddle, but dude, this is like an incredible control paddle, especially in today's game. I would call this like an all-court leaning control paddle, but the control specifically is excellent, and the spin is excellent, the touch, the feel. So, if I was going to say, I want to play with a control paddle, unironically, because I say that all the time, this is probably the one I'd pick.
Yeah.
Great feel, too. Shapeshifter HX. That's my pick.
Yeah. Oh, this was a tough one for me because I feel like there's not a ton of like super control-oriented hybrid shape paddles. But like the J2 Ti is about as close as a control paddle as it gets right now. So I would almost just say J2 Ti if you're looking for a control-oriented hybrid shape paddle. However, the HX did just come out, and it is slightly softer feeling and doesn't feel like it has a ton of power and pop. I'd have to compare them directly, but I do think that's also a really good shout. This was the one category that was like, I don't know. Like I can't almost decide.
My second pick, by the way, for hybrid control paddle is the OG Neonic Flow. Just the Flow.
Ooh, that's good. Yeah,
it's very good. Just
that's
pure control paddle, soft feel.
Honestly, too, the bread and butter Loco,
but it isn't available anymore, so I didn't list that one.
Oh,
that was my. I don't think
production?
I don't think they're going to restock. That's what I heard.
Okay,
I mean, I might be wrong on this, but I was pretty sure that was going to get replaced.
Yeah, Flow is definitely. I would say, of all the paddles that I know, for sure. I haven't compared all the paddles, but easily the Flow is one of the softest hybrid shape paddles you can hit.
But the catch is, I don't think that was released in 2024. This is. We're talking about 2024 paddles.
That's okay. So. The Mach 2 Forza was not.
Oh, crap.
That was 2023. Well, that's okay.
We screwed it up. Anyway, all right. So, hybrid all-court, this is not a surprise. I put J2K/J2Ti. Like you said, either one. If you just want something that does everything well in a hybrid shape, except have a short handle, those are your paddles.
Yeah. Easy runner-up is the Invader. Even though we're not doing runner-ups, but I just figured I would, give another option to the J2.
Listen, it's our podcast. We make the rules. We do whatever we want.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I don't think there are any rules. If anything, I think we avoid rules at all costs.
It's lawless out here.
Yeah, it's a lawless nation.
Pod.
A bunch of idiots.
Pretty much. Okay, hybrid power. This one was pretty easy for me. I put the Spartus Olympus. What'd you put?
Ooh, Spartus Olympus. That's very good. I would say the Chorus Fire HX was easily up there, just because so similar to the EX. Obviously, the EX is going to have a little bit more power, being an elongated shape paddle. But Olympus is a very good pick, and honestly, one I probably should have.
So I'm right and you're wrong.
I think you're right.
right.
I'm wrong. Runner up, Fire HX.
All right, here we go. Elongated. This one, I guarantee you don't have the control. I'm going to show it because it's a little bit more obscure, so to say. Groovin Cruise 16H.
Oh, I didn't even...
Long handle, elongated shape. This is like a really nice handle. Look at this. Gen 1.5. Mm-hmm. Really good feel. The only downside is the sweet spot's a little bit small just because it's a Gen 1.5, but like this is a really solid paddle, great shape, like shot shaping, great spin, good feel, and great control, of course. It's a Gen 1.5, and it's elongated with a long handle. So that's my pick. Cruise 16H, and it's pretty affordable too.
Man, I was going to actually do the Groovin Movin 16H, but recently...
Oh, okay.
The Chorus Shapeshifter EX has came out.
We're just cheating by using the Chorus paddles because they can fit in any shape.
Yeah. But truly, like, I was going to use a Gen 1.5 paddle. And I also thought about the Neonic Force, which is a super cheap paddle.
Yeah.
And even
Yeah,
thought
that's a good
about
one, too.
the Enhance Sweet Spot from Enhanced
I haven't hit that
Pickleball.
one.
It is a very soft, elongated shape paddle. I don't know what it is, but I have a hard time, grouping elongated and control together. Maybe it's just because I know that elongated shape paddles generally have more, power output on bigger strokes. But
Well, there's the Lux, but that was released in 23.
oh yeah, that's a good one. Never played. I've played with the Lux, but I've never tested it and reviewed it. So
Same. But yeah, I kind of picked this one because it's great control, but also because it's just such a good shape. Like, for an elongated shape, and I'm not usually an elongated shape fan. But yeah, and there's color options. I just got the pretty chill one there.
Yeah,
with the black
I
and
really
orange.
like the 16H shape. It's really, really nice.
So I had two. I had a tie on elongated all court. My number one bread and butter Shogun, best of 2024, elongated all court. My second one, 11.624, Hirachi X. I'm just gonna say all court because that's what the name is changing to. Pretty sure it used to be the Control Plus, but the Hirachi X, also a great shape for an elongated.
Yeah, Hirachi X is a really good one. There's so many elongated shape all court paddles.
Yeah.
And they're all, I hate to say this, they're all almost exactly alike.
Well,
they really are.
that's why I give credit to these two, because Shogun was
Yeah.
first to market with the titanium, has a different feel, really nice, and the Hirachi X has got a little bit more of a unique shape. It feels a little bit different. So I'm trying to give them a bump in credit because, like you said, there's a lot of elongated all court. So what rises above,
Yeah.
And those are the two that come to mind for me.
Yeah, mine is easily, I like the Hirachi X. The Kevlar one is awesome, but they discontinued all of their Kevlar paddles. And then the Bread and Butter Filth is one of my favorite.
2023.
Well, whatever, dude. We make the rules. There's no rules here. Whatever. Whatever, bro. All right.
I know. By the way, I would have put that on my list in a different category if we can
Yeah.
count it. In fact,
Yeah.
I'm writing it on my list right now.
On to power, baby.
TKO CX. Easy. Because I'm not going to choose the Yolas. I have problems with them. All right. I'm not going to choose the gearbox. I got problems with those. The problems with the gearbox mainly being the tiny ass sweet spot, which these aren't much better, but TKO CX really
These
good.
are much better.
I just meant in the sweet spot.
These are, it's, in my opinion, it's really not even close. What is the best elongated shape power paddle that will not break?
Yeah.
Easily.
Okay, on to the more interesting categories
Yeah,
here.
more niche. Let's get there.
Because those
Where
were
are we
boring. The biggest flop of 2024.
Oof.
This one was so hard for me that I have 3 answers.
Oh,
Okay.
boy, I like that.
So, here we go. We'll call these the runner-ups. The 6-0 triple black diamond. Sorry,
Oh.
Will. God. That paddle was like super hyped and looked cool, and all the teasers were really cool, and it was a Pickleball Will, crossover, which is awesome. I'm so happy for him. But then it came out, and I did not think it played well at all. I mean, that's my opinion. This is my list. Mm-hmm. So I would call that a flop.
I have hit with that very little and hated it. So I would, agree with you.
You agree? Okay.
Yeah.
This one hurts me to say because I wish it wasn't the case, but the Vatic Pro Oni. That was like the definition of a flop because
I never hit that one.
it got, I just mean, think about it. It got super hyped.
Listed. Yeah.
And then it was, the testers were saying, wow, this is like crazy, all this stuff. And then, boom, delisted. And also on top of that, reports of incredible amounts of breakage. And it's like, oh, it just had to disappear totally. Like, if that's not a flop, I don't know what is, right?
I almost feel bad for Vatic in that respect.
No, I do. Yeah. That's why I said I feel bad having it on the list. But
yeah,
you just got to be real with it. My number one easily is Yola Gen 3.
Ooh, baby.
I mean, come on. Like, it just it has defined this year. And the fact that like we found out all this stuff later about them intentionally overcompressing the cores, and then the delisting, and then the lawsuit, and just all this stuff. And I feel like they deserve the delisting, of course, if they were intentionally crushing cores out of the factory. So that's my biggest flop of the year. They had to do so much that they had to like find workarounds and say, oh, you can play with a mod, but not these, and then release a different version, the 3S. And so that's mine.
All
I
right.
feel like that's obvious. Is that yours too?
Mine is none of this.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm gonna give you one yes.
Okay.
Go ahead, try it. What do you think it is?
Gearbox. Oh, recency.
The
007.
007 10 millimeter. Now, let me preface this with saying this paddle is not horrible, but almost every single 14 millimeter raw carbon fiber elongated shape paddle is going to feel and play better than this. The 14 millimeter is a better paddle, in my personal opinion. People seem to gravitate more towards the 10 millimeter. This feels like a literal piece of wood.
Well, if you're going to play with something that, has a crazy feel, it better at least offer some kind of crazy playability. And that's what the 14 doesn't do. The 14 is easier to play with, but at least the 10 gives you something. It pays you back something for playing with a piece of plywood.
Does it? The sweet spot
here's
sizes. Here's
Yeah.
the sweet spot, guys. Right here. That's it. Just where my fingertip is. That's it. Nothing else. Now,
I don't know if it could be the biggest flop, though, because the Labs paddles are, like, by definition, hit or miss. So, like, you don't expect them to all hit.
it's $333.
Yeah.
And
it's
I have
007. Come on.
Yeah, have not had enough time with either of these to test the Infinigrit, which is, in theory, a very promising piece of technology. But the jury is still out for that. It seems like no one has a solid answer for that yet or had enough time to test those. But the reason why I think this is the flop of the year is because it had a lot of hype and almost zero positive feedback. Have you heard anyone say a good thing about the 007?
No, even the pros who played with it, like, moved off of it pretty quick.
Yeah.
They played with it. Yeah.
So,
Fair enough.
to be fair, Selkirk did release a very good paddle this year in the SLK Halo Kevlar paddle. So,
Yeah.
I will give them that. They did release one solid paddle, but
To be
this
fair,
was
we left
rough.
it off the list also in the control category, but that Vanguard Pro is like a very good control paddle.
Yes.
I
Very
left it
good,
off because I don't
very
have
expensive.
it. So, yeah, I don't have it, so I haven't played with it. But, I mean, I have played with it, but I haven't played with it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see how that would make some people's control list. Easily.
Damn, I should have put, that is,
Dude, did you just need me to make your list
Arguably.
for you?
yeah, no, there's so many paddles, man. It's hard to even, like, keep up and remember all the best possible. I guess I block a lot of the Selkirk ones out because all they do perform equivalently in some, respects. They're always significantly more expensive to the equal performing paddle. But yeah, so I might have to say Control Selkirk Vanguard Pro is
Fair enough.
about as good as it possibly gets for elongated. All right, now what's next, man?
Looks. Best looking
Ooh.
paddle.
I'm gonna have.
Go ahead. You want to go first?
Ahead. No, you go ahead.
Okay, so you said the filth earlier, and I didn't think that counted because that was from 2023. But if that counts, that would be my choice. Let me put it that way. But if we're going to talk about 2024 paddles, this one might be polarizing
Oh, very polarizing, yeah.
because some people hate this shape and think it's hideous. But the Flow Prime X, and this comes in this rose gold, very cute, very, very cutesy rose gold color. And I really like it. And there's also like a cyan blue version of this.
Very cutesy.
That don't even do it. That more people probably would get down with the blue version, honestly. But I kind of like this one because it's a bit more unique. So this would be my pick. And it has a lot to do with the shape also. I really enjoy this shape, and I like the shape. So
Very precious. Yeah, that's a good choice, honestly. All right, everybody's gonna think that I'm gonna choose the Invader.
No one thinks Invader looks cool, but it's not like the best looking.
I'm going to choose something that no one will guess.
What is it? Oh, no, I would have guessed that.
Arrow. This is the metallic T.
That was in the running for me too, by the way.
This paddle is so damn good looking.
It really is, yeah.
Like, I kid you not, by far, it's not even close. This is the best looking paddle on the market. Love the look of this. Love just the metallic, super reflective titanium weave. So huge.
Edu is doing his marketing work.
Anybody who's listening, this is the Holbrook Aero Metallic T Pro Elongated 16 millimeter paddle as the best looking paddle.
Yeah.
So good looking.
Edu recently, now sponsored by Holbrook. He's definitely doing his work promoting that paddle. Within this last week, I've had 3 different people ask me, "Hey, dude, do you have that Holbrook metallic edgeless paddle?" And I'm like, "You've been watching Edu?" I asked all of them this, and all 3 of them said yes, and then put like laughing faces. No, like, can I try it? I'm like, you can try it. It's not excellent, but it looks cool. And 2 of the 3 people have tried it so far and been like, "Yeah, I don't think it's for me."
One of these edgeless paddles is good, and the other one is a 007.
It is. It is a good edgeless paddle. Okay,
it is solid. Yeah, it's actually a like legitimately good paddle.
Underrated paddle of the year. I'm excited for your pick on this because I didn't know where to go until I was flipping, like looking through my paddles until I saw this one. I was like, oh yeah, this is it. Ready? Body Helix X5.
Yeah.
I feel like nobody really talks about this. It didn't get a lot of fanfare, but this paddle is very good. Very good. Another excellent shape with excellent handle. I think it's kind of ugly, but the performance is very good. Spin is great. Just basically everything across the board. It's kind of just a sort of jack of all trades, master of none, but very good across the board. And like I said, I don't think it got a significant amount of hype. So that's why I think it's underrated.
This is a cop-out. A big cop-out, honestly. Flare Pro X.
You think the Flare Prime X is underrated?
Truly underrated, yes, because no one has reviewed this. No major reviewers have really reviewed this.
Chris reviewed it. He said,
videos. Who's Chris?
But Chris reviewed it and said, meh, it's basically like similar to a Monarch All Court, which I would disagree with, but
no.
He said it's kind of in between a Monarch All Court and the ESQ 14.3, which I do kind of agree with, actually.
Chris reviewed this?
I'm positive.
I don't know if I believe you.
This guy.
All right, let's see. Sure enough, he did.
I know.
Yeah, I think it's very underrated. I think that hardly anybody talks about this paddle. I think that...
and for $126 after code, it is absolutely one of the best paddles of the year, plus extremely affordable. And as much as we joke about New Week, New Main, like that's the paddle for me that like I'm gonna grab if I feel off or I want to like perform my best still. So, and it's probably gonna take quite a lot to like dethrone it as my, I don't know, I'm not necessarily gonna call it my main, but like my best paddle for my preferences type thing.
Couple of honorable mentions. You said one, the X5. Also, the X4 Kevlar, or just the X4 carbon fiber, and then the Hudef Mage Pro Gen 2 16 millimeter paddle.
I could see that. I haven't played with that one, but I could see how it'd be underrated because no one's really giving it that much love.
And it has internal weighting, which everybody loves and raves about, but somehow no one cares about with that paddle. Does all the right things. Has good pop, good power. Elevated to what is normally seen in just a traditional Kevlar carbon fiber weave. So, very good paddle.
So that was all of our picks for like kind of paddles of 2024 in those categories. We're still going to get into some other stuff about best of the year, so to speak, but not necessarily paddle related in NERDTOWN. So, what are you Googling?
I'm texting my wife to see if she'll come refill my wine.
All right, dude. Well, what do you want to do? Net gains, New Week, New Main.
Let's go New Week, New Main, bro, because we got some big news.
Hit me with it.
the big news is we have a new sponsor. It is Bodhi Pickleball. Bodhi Pickleball is officially the sponsor of New Week, New Maine. They have quite a bit of pickleball accessories like overgrips. These are
Oh my god.
some of the best overgrips
You are
on the
stocked
market.
up on white.
Yeah, I only use white. So like, I was like, I hate asking for free stuff. I was like,
It's
I
not
just
free,
need these
but
3
yeah.
or 4 things. Yeah, you know what I mean. But I hate asking people for stuff. But these grips really, really good. Some of the best on the market, in my personal opinion. If you like slightly thicker grips, by far, there's no better grip on the market, in my personal opinion. They
I would
also
say
do
they're
have,
medium. Not
yeah,
even thick.
you're right. We have talked about this four or 5 times, and we've always come back to you saying, I think they're medium thickness. But
They're
yeah.
not thick, bro.
Yeah.
You haven't played with thick grips, but yeah, they're not the thinnest.
They also have tungsten tape. They have towels. They have sleeves. And is there something else I'm forgetting?
Well, the sun sleeves we both love.
Yes,
And they have been
awesome.
some gradient colors, and then white and black. Of course, now it's been a little bit colder, so we haven't been using them as much. But like I have them, I'm ready. Like I said, the Bodhi sun sleeves are really good, and they're actually very similar to the Story Eye ones that everybody loves. So, and yeah, now by the way, the Bodhi tungsten tape, they have 0.5 gram per inch and 1 gram per inch, and it is not as chunky as it was before.
Yeah.
It's lower profile and it sticks onto the paddle. So here, I'll actually show you guys. Like I have it right here. Here's the old version. I don't know how much you'll be able to tell, but you can see this is like a pretty thick, but skinny this way. This is the old Bodhi, and this is the new. So it's it's much thinner. This is actually 2 layers. You can see where I have 2 layers here. So, and even 2 layers, it's still less thick profile wise.
Yeah.
So
You can save 10% with code PURSUIT at checkout when purchasing any item at Bodhi Pickleball. Thank you, Bodhi, for sponsoring the New Week, New Maine segment. Very excited to have them. So, Justin, New Week, New Maine, baby. Where you at?
I'm still here. There I am
Rocking.
with my Bodhi teal grip and then Bodhi tungsten tape. But I'm still on the Neonic Flow Swift. Now, I'm kind of in a in-between area right now, like I talked about last week. So I'm testing a lot of stuff. I'm rotating paddles a lot more than I normally do. But this one I'm really loving right now, and the USAP approval should be coming through soon. So great spin. I have like 4 grams here. You can see it's double layered here. This is 0.5 gram per inch. Just because as I was setting it up, I was experimenting. That's how I have it right now. And that's all the weight I have on it. So excellent paddle, great spin and shot shaping. Not a ton of pop, but decent power because it does have a fiberglass layer. Are you still on your main?
Well, here's the thing,
Uh-oh.
guys. There's some paddles that I've been testing, and they've been flirting. They've been whispering sweet nothings in my ear. I've been hitting some luscious drips, some really good drives, some really good counters. But here's the thing, guys. I'm a married man, all right? Currently married to the Invader until sorry guys, a more younger, beautiful model that I need to upgrade to. But for now, the Invader is still the main. Got the Bodhi grip on here. I'm still rocking a good 9-inch, 0.5 gram per inch tungsten tape. And have quite a bit of lead in the handle to counterbalance this. Love this paddle. It's just, I say it every week, it's just intuitive. I don't have to think about it when I play. And honestly, that's the most important thing when playing with a ball. With a paddle, excuse me, not a ball. So Invader is still the New Week, New Maine, baby.
All right. So maybe we'll have to wait for next year to get some exciting news. But because that was it. Look, both of us 2 weeks in a row on the same paddle. Shocking.
I'm like 4 or 5 weeks in on the Invader.
That's pretty true.
I keep hitting, like I'm telling you, I keep hitting paddles that I like a lot, and then I'll pick this one back up immediately after and just be like, oh, I'm home. I'm with my baby.
I'm about
Like,
to insert in between segments. I'm going to insert a little paddle teaser here. Didn't know I was going to do this. Okay, here's your first look.
My wife is filling up
That's
my
this.
pickle. My my wife.
Perfect.
Thank you, Ted.
Look at this, guys.
Oh,
This
baby.
is the updated Course Super Court. This is a carbon fiber, fiberglass, carbon fiber layup. I just got these today. This is not the old shape with the crazy long handle. This is now in Course's X shape. So this is the HX shape. And a while back, you'll remember we did a Course event, or we went to a Course event where we got to hit the shapeshifters, the fire, the Super Court, and the Echo early. And at that time, the Super Court was my favorite. So I just got these in today, and I told Matt from Chorus, I said, I'm gripping this up immediately and putting it in the back.
Immediately.
And that's launching on January 27th. So that could be a competitor for New Week, New Main for me. I really liked it at the event. But yeah, we'll have to do some testing.
All right.
Anyway, didn't know I was going to do a little teaser, but throw it in there.
Real quick, are there any X's that you're missing? Because there's one X that I think about all the time.
Really? I mean, yeah, the Flare Prime X.
I just cannot stop thinking about this paddle.
You're not good enough to play with that paddle. Just put it
I'm
down. And that's
I'm
why
not
you keep
good
thinking
enough to
about
play
it.
with any paddle. That's the problem.
That's why you keep thinking about it, because she's the one who got away. You
Yeah.
loved it when you were on, but when you weren't, oh boy.
Man, yeah, I just really love that ESQC.
I mean, it does have a unique, sweet, sweet feel when you hit the sweet spot.
Yeah,
But
there's nothing
good
like
luck
it.
doing that regularly. So, all right, ready to jump into net gains?
Net gains. What do we got, man?
So, guys, I've been getting some coaching. Okay, it's time.
Me too, actually.
It's time. It's time to stop. I know. Here's what actually happened. Lewis said he was getting coaching. This is after our horrible performance in the tournament. And he was like, oh, I just did this coaching session today. And he told me this stuff. And I got so jealous immediately. And I was like, you know what? I'm getting coaching. You know what? He can't outdo me. I'll get coaching. So I'm getting some coaching. Although mine is online game review coaching. So a little different.
A little different, yeah.
Yeah. Unlucky for me, as I've said, there's no high-level players around here. If there was, I would do it. Otherwise, I have to drive
right?
a couple hours. What?
You're the high-level player around.
Yeah, sure. But anyway, it's something that my coach has been trying to help me with, and this is not something I would have picked up on my own, is essentially getting my mind and body on the same page, right? And he didn't necessarily present it like this, but what he presented to me was, like, dude, what are you doing? You look like you're just uninterested. Are you just chilling? Why are you not ready? Like, your legs are very, not active. I don't have my knees bent, all this different stuff, right? And kind of his take was that I'm very relaxed on the court, which is a good thing, but he said that I'm relaxed, sluggish, instead of being like relaxed and ready to move or explode. Kind of like Ben Johnson's. Ben Johns also looks relaxed, but ready to like jump on something, right? And I'm a little bit more Colin Johns than Ben Johns with my court energy right now. So got to improve that. Not to say Colin isn't amazing, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what I realized is, and then in talking to him, is like, man, that's totally opposite of how I am in my head. I'm so focused, and recently at least, focused and intent and trying to be ready for the next shot and like thinking about this. But like when you look at me, my body is not ready, right? And something that he told me that kind of struck a chord. He was like, for taller people, getting low is like actually pretty hard to do. And if you just do that all the time, you'll just burn your legs out, just trying to like bend down and keep your knees bent all the time. So he said, what you need to think about to be athletic is think about being wide instead of being low. And he's like, kind of open your hips up, widen your stance. And it's totally true. I already kind of did this on resets and, whenever I hit high balls, but then I'm trying to transmit it into the rest of my game, because as soon as you widen your base, you're now in a more athletic stance, which everybody knows, but it also lowers you down, which is good in pickleball, of course, to have like a low center of gravity to get underneath and behind the ball. And so that's what I'm working on, trying to actually get my body on the same page with my mind, be ready, not that I'm some super athlete, but I'm not, a slouch. I'm more athletic than I'm actually being on the court. So I need to stop being lazy and get wide and get my legs involved and get my posture involved. Stay relaxed, but be ready to, pounce or be ready to make a quick movement when that time comes. So I'll keep you guys updated. All right. There's only been a couple little sessions, and there's going to be some more, and it's painful watching my play. Now that my eyes have been open to this, I watch myself and I'm like, dude, what am I doing? I just look like I do not care at all. That's what it looks like on the court. I look like I don't care. If I win or lose, I don't care. If I miss this ball, if I hit this ball, I just don't care, And that's not actually what's happening in my head, but that's my body language. So I'm redefining and reinventing my court energy and my body language.
Did you play any sports competitively besides tennis?
Basketball.
Basketball, yeah. Yeah, a lot of sports, especially like soccer too. Soccer and football. I feel like they all are very. You're always in like a flow state. You're always moving, kind of being ready, and I think that has definitely helped me with like staying in a more ready position. But like anybody who has not played competitive sports, I imagine they would struggle with that just because they're not used to like constantly being ready. And like in pickleball, it's it's quick. Like things happen very quick, even though it feels like a more slow,
small little
sport.
court.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like you got to be ready at all times, but also like stay calm.
Yeah.
Don't tense up too much.
Luckily for me, something that the coach said, and by the way, my coach will remain anonymous, but he's a high-level player, and he said actually
is
it's
your
easier.
Coach Chris Olsen from the pickleball studio?
I said high level.
Oh yeah. Sorry,
high-level player.
I thought you said a 3-5.
No. So, but something that he said is like his experience coaching. It's actually easier to take someone who's naturally relaxed, like I am, and then get them to like get in gear, so to say, than to take someone who's like spastic and like and then try to calm that person down to the right level. Yeah. So maybe I'm starting on the right side of it. I just need to be more engaged, really, physically more engaged, and that also it's probably also he said it's a positive feedback loop. Honestly, being more physically engaged is probably going to help me stay more mentally engaged, and then being more mentally engaged helps me stay more physically engaged. So. Hopefully it will also help my focus as well on the simple moments, because a lot of the shots that I miss are just dumbass little shots. I'm just losing focus for no reason. And, I'm losing focus in my head, but also my body is like, I'm just standing there like, oh, you hit a ball at me? Huh. So, yeah.
Do you think anything's going to ever help with our overheads?
Yeah. My overhead's fine. Yours suck. No, my overheads are bad jumping backwards right now because of my Achilles. Like I can't jump backwards. So, but they'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll be all right.
Got to drill a little bit.
We're going to move on to an update on the Ethos Pro Undergrip, which is this bad boy right here.
Oh, yeah.
Now, talked about this last week. One thing I did not mention, and this is just something I don't think about, and this is 100% my fault. I'm very sorry about this. I put weight in the handle of every single paddle that I use, pretty much. This is heavier than the Hescore. So if you are somebody who's very, very, very sensitive to weight or weight in the handles, this probably will not be a better option for you. I think this grip is superior to the Hescore because I'm not someone who is sensitive to weight in the handle at all. In fact, like I could probably play with those, 1 ounce slice grips or slice butt caps and be totally fine with that. But I just wanted to mention that if this is something that you've been thinking about, Justin weighed it. I think you said it weighed in at 24 grams.
Yeah, so here's the relevant numbers. The Ethos Pro Undergrip weighed 24 grams. Mm-hmm. For comparison, the stock grip on a paddle, right, that you're going to take off and replace This weighs about 7.5 grams. So you end up gaining 16.5 grams if you take this off and replace it with the Ethos Pro Undergrip. So that's quite a bit. 16.5 grams is a lot of weight to add. And for reference, a pink Hesicore, which is the extra small Hesicore, weighs 13 grams. So it's roughly 10 grams lighter than the Ethos Pro Undergrip. I was using it. I actually tried it, and it wasn't for me. But I will say that it's so long that the top section, I actually just trimmed it off to try to lose some weight, and that dropped 4 grams off it immediately. So that gets it down to 20 grams.
So you just chopped off right here where it says
Ethos?
Yep.
Yeah, just like basically right above the last shaped groove thing. I chopped it all the way around.
What did you like about the Did you like the Hescore better, or just both were not really for you?
No. I like the Ethos better, but neither are for me.
Yeah.
The Ethos I found far more comfortable, and like we talked about on last week's podcast, I still think it's biased for righties. I get that like the ones on the faces, right? Like on this side are reversed.
Just say you're wrong. It's okay.
I'm right. The ones on the side are biased for righty hands. Trust me, just grab it with your left hand. You'll be going against those no matter what. And if you grab it with your right hand, it feels great.
No,
I'm not saying it.
They're
Listen.
opposite. Look. It's going up
he's
this
so
way.
Clueless. It's crazy. It's so crazy. It's so crazy.
We even had the owner say they're good for
the owner said what? The owner said what? He said that the sides, the grooves on the sides are biased for righties, and that the faces are inversed, right? So one side should be good for a lefty, one side should be good for a righty. However, if you grab the righty side that's good for a righty, and then your fingers wrap, now they're going down, so they wrap on the lefty side perfect. So what I'm saying is it's perfect for a righty in every way. Feels very comfortable for a righty. It's not perfect for a lefty, but I'm not saying it'll be uncomfortable. Just saying that you'll have to, on the edges on this side, as a lefty, you're going to go anti. It's going to be like this, which for me is important because I play with a little trigger finger like this. So the little groove was like this, perfect for me. Imagine if it was like that underneath my finger. Not great. Anyway.
Good news. The Ethos owner has wanted to do a giveaway. So they want to give away 3 of these Pro Undergrips.
That's awesome.
Which is very generous. Still stand by these, even though Justin's a little hater.
I know, I didn't mean to go on a rant about them.
Yeah.
But I said they're better than a Hesicore, more comfortable. I just don't prefer either. And I like a thinner grip, and I'm like a chronic paddle spinner. So I'm like spinning. So I don't want to have to like find which side, needs to be the forehand. So that's just a me problem.
We'll talk about this after. Remind me. But so we're giving away 3 of these Ethos Pro Undergrips. All that we want you guys to do to enter to win this giveaway, I just want you to write first giveaway entry in your comment, just so we know and we can easily, gauge which ones are for the entry. And I want you to tell us your favorite part of the Pickleball Pursuit podcast in 2024. It's the end of the year. What was your favorite part of this podcast?
You mean as a whole?
As a whole, yeah. Anything.
26 episodes.
Yeah.
Pick a part.
Could be anything. Yeah.
Okay.
So just tell us your favorite part, and we'll pick 3 winners. I'll probably... Should we pick them next episode, which will be, early January?
Couple weeks.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll pick them early January and let you guys know. So... Oh, gosh, I just lost what I was going to ask you. What were we talking about? In the giveaway? We were talking about something, and I was going to ask you.
You said, remind me after. I don't know. I just wrote down after, ?
No, dude, this was a really good question, too.
It was about the Ethos. I said that I was a chronic spinner, and that I didn't want to have one forehand side only.
All right.
Okay.
That's exactly what I want to ask you.
What?
Do you have a forehand and a backhand side of your paddle?
No. I don't.
That is crazy. Yes.
Well, then that's why the Ethos is like perfect for you, because that's the way you want to grip it.
Even in just a regular paddle, this side feels right. If I go here, it feels so wrong.
Really?
It feels like the grooves of the paddle are in the complete wrong spot on my fingers. This feels horrible. So this is always my forehand side with this paddle. This is always my backhand side. Every single paddle.
I don't have that.
I
I'll
have
spin the
a
paddle midpoint, so
designated.
there's no telling which side is going to be what.
With my invader. This side right here that has the message is always facing me. That's my forehand side right here. Every time.
Maybe that's why whenever I wrote the message on my paddle, I wrote it on both sides.
Yeah. So I've always wondered that. Somebody asked that in the comment section. I'm like, wait, hold on. People don't.
I think most people don't.
That's crazy. So let us know. Do you have a specific side that is always your forehand or backhand side of your paddle based on the orientation of your grip? I am in the camp that, yes, there is a forehand side and a backhand side. Let's see what happens.
You said this was going to be a short podcast?
Yeah, it is. Dude, we're on to the last thing, and it's
this
not
is
even
the
an
last
hour in.
segment. Okay, we're going to NERDTOWN, but a little bit differently this week. Okay,
bring us to NERDTOWN, man.
This NERDTOWN is going to be, instead of us doing best of 2024, this is your chance to do best of 2024. This is going to be essentially like the NERDTOWN People's Choice Awards. So I have a couple categories here, and I'm going to give you guys the choices. And I want y'all to, in the comments, tell me your choices for the winners of these categories. And then on the next podcast, we'll announce the People's Choice Awards, People's Choice NERDTOWN Awards for these different categories. Okay, ready? Mm-hmm. For the category of Best New Tech or Trend in 2024. Okay, here are your choices. Titanium faces, using fiberglass in creative layups, as in, using it in a combination, like this one uses fiberglass, underneath the carbon fiber. This one uses underneath the titanium. Of course, look, I have them all right here. Look, this is how popular it is this year. This is used underneath the carbon fiber in 18K. So that's your second choice, using fiberglass in creative layups. Number 3 here, experimenting with cores, specifically with the cell size and the grade, like how much we're seeing. Oh, this is a softer polypropylene now. This is a 10 millimeter core. This is a 6 millimeter cell. 6 millimeter cell. Or the final trend here do you think the best new tech or trend for 2024 is the fact that there was just a lot more wide bodies? Wide bodies made a big showing in 2024. So those are your choices. Titanium, fiberglass, and layup, experimenting with core cells and hardness, and more wide bodies. Okay. Here's the second category. And this is for the OGs. What do you think was the best NERDTOWN segment this whole year? So of the podcast. Here are your choices. I basically chose these off which got the most views and comments engagement. Number 1, Kevlar myth busting. This was one of the early episodes, but it got a ton of views and engagement, and it was mainly about, can you use an eraser on Kevlar? Is Kevlar different than carbon fiber? A lot of different things about Kevlar myth busting. Number 2, maneuverability, specifically us diving into creating a maneuverability rating and talking about what is maneuverability. It's not just static weight, it's not just swing weight, it's actually all the above, and how important balance point is. This has become common knowledge now over the year, but when we first started talking about the maneuverability of a paddle, people weren't taking into account balance point and all these other things. So was it the NERDTOWN going into maneuverability, which we talked about 2 different times, and then eventually created the maneuverability rating? Okay. Was the best NERDTOWN topic, is it titanium or is it polyester? Okay. Or is the is the best NERDTOWN topic of the year the peel ply deep dive, explanation of what peel ply is and how it works, and is it or is it not durable? That was fairly recent, but that one also was highly viewed, highly asked for, and had good engagement. Okay, so for the final category, there are only 3 NERDTOWN awards. This one is People's Choice. What's your favorite segment of the Pickleball Pursuit podcast? Now we have a few defined segments. Is it net gains, where we talk about trying to improve past 3.4 and the different ways we can do that mentally or physically? Is it NERDTOWN, which is well known, been around since the beginning? Is it New Week, New Main? Or is it the paddle cue, which if you don't know what that one is, that's just where Lewis mainly and I, we go through all the paddles that basically he's either going to review or not going to get the chance to review, and just kind of catch up on the current paddles. So, okay, guys, those are your 3 categories: best new tech / trend 2024, best NERDTOWN segment, and your favorite podcast segment. Honestly, I'm pretty curious about these. So comment and vote. This is the NERDTOWN People's Choice, and then we'll report the findings on the next podcast.
All right. We're 58 minutes in.
I know I was trying to go fast.
That was
we could
quick.
finish under an hour for once in the year.
We're not going to finish under an hour because I have one more question. What is the number one thing? Just one. What is the number one thing you think we should see in pickleball paddles next year? I'll go first.
Are you asking for a prediction of what's going to happen or what I want?
No, what do you want? What do you want?
Okay.
We're not going to do predictions. What do you want? For me, personally, I want to see a change in regulations to allow more durable materials. I think that would benefit the pickleball paddle market more than anything else.
What regulations right now are preventing durable materials?
Well, you can't use specific materials on the face.
Oh, you mean like the rubbers and silicones stuff?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair.
As long as it's within the same performance as what is currently using, I think that is something that has to change, in my personal opinion.
Well, they just say they're going to start testing spin. So if they do start testing spin, they can stop micromanaging materials and allow the use of rubbers and or silicones maybe that will last longer, such as like Proton's face, as long as they're still getting spin in the same range. Okay, if we're just talking about personally here, you know my answer. Make better handles. God, is this the only racket sport in the entire world with the shittiest handles you've ever held? And it's just like from paddle to paddle, it may be different, just like squishy handle. Oh, this handle's loose. This one's fat. This one's skinny. Can y'all just make good handles? More companies are starting to do it, but I said this last time, and this is my soapbox. This is the only part of the paddle that you touch, and you're touching it 100% of the time that you're playing. So make it good. It's your interface with the paddle. And if you have a bad interface with the paddle, then you just have a bad experience with the paddle. You're also just selling your paddle short. Maybe your paddle's great, but it just has a bad handle. Anyway.
I will say,
that's my personal answer.
I'm with you on this because I played with the Ripple, the Gearbox, the Vapor Power, and the Invader. All 4 of those paddles have drastically different feeling handles. Drastically. And that is insane to think about. Like, truly. If you pick up, 4 of the highest quality tennis rackets, I bet you their handles feel
minor
pretty
difference.
Similar.
Minor differences.
Yeah.
Because there are different shape profiles for different brands of rackets. However, none of them feel low quality. So, this is a sign of a bigger thing here. It's just, I still think that technology in pickleball is pretty immature. And a sign of the technology maturing is companies starting to take the extra effort to make it quality. Like, make yourself a quality handle. Which, like I said, we're seeing more of. And I'm a happy little podcaster about that. So maybe I won't have to soapbox so much.
Oh,
anyway,
boy.
So that's my personal thing. Of course, there are more meaningful changes that could happen, but if you're just asking me.
All right. Hopefully, 2025 can bring a medal in 4-0 for me and Justin jointly.
One of us, at least. Oh, yeah. Jointly, I see.
Jointly, yeah. Hopefully we can win a freaking tournament. More importantly, I hope that 2025 is a very fun year and great year of growth for the pickleball community. And, of course, obviously this channel. We are extremely grateful for all the comments, all the engagement, all the views, all the support that we get. I joked about it for the first 10 episodes, but I kid you not. I thought 10 people max would watch the first few episodes of this podcast. And it was unbelievably mind-blowing to think thousands of views would be generated from these podcasts, and I truly, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate it, and want to thank you all for watching and being a part of this very fun project, if you will, that Justin and I do together. And also wanted to say thank you very much to my wonderful pickleball wife, Justin, aka my co-host from Pickleball, etc. Man,
listen, we already talked about this. You said pickleball. I said I'm definitely the pickleball husband, and then you said no, you're the pickleball husband, and I said we can be pickleball husbands.
That's true.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So
it's 2024, about to be 2025.
Yeah. So, but yeah, thank you for having me on. I have enjoyed it, and thank you guys for commenting. It's been awesome. I really appreciate it, and yeah, it's just been so much fun. And I hope that whatever co-host you find for 2025 performs well for you. So this is my last episode, guys.
I'm rehiring you. I'm going to continue paying you approximately $0.
Paying? Oh.
Yeah. Yep. Justin does this for free, guys. He's just a good guy. Not to say anybody come poach him for a salary. But I mean, like, you know, if you're trying to pay my boy, you can pay my boy. He's asked for like, what was it, like 250K a year to be a co-host.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know where you were going with that. Yeah, that's my price. Yeah, quarter mil.
Quarter mil. Easy money. But that's once a month. All right, guys, let's land this plane. 2024 is over. Thank you guys again for watching. We really appreciate the support. Looking forward to a very fun and enjoyable 2025. Hope you guys have happy holidays. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Enjoy it.